Dominic Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some old school NBA basketball. In today's episode, I want to take a look at NBA legends talking about Kobe Bryant, and this will be an XXL episode again, so a long episode that you can watch till the end, hopefully. And I will also give you my personal take on Kobe Bryant because my relationship with him as a fan always used to change. I used to be a huge fan at the beginning, then it changed for a while, then I loved him again. I will give you my take at the end of the video. But before we start with this, let me ask you guys for a small favor. If you like this content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I would say, let's get right into it. Now, the first player's opinion that I want to take a look at is from Byron Scott, who obviously was also a Laker. And he played alongside Kobe Bryant when Kobe was a rookie, and he coached him. So, of course, he has a very interesting perspective. Let's take a look.
Kobe Bryant was not the most talented player that I've seen on a basketball court. Tracy McGrady was more talented. Vince Carter was more talented.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that that Kobe had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why when he would go against those guys, he would shine. Plus the fact that when he went against those guys, it was like
he looked for those.
Yeah, he looked.
Yeah,
that was his motivation.
Yeah.
He looked to play against the best guys. Yeah. LeBron, no, I'm guarding him.
Yeah.
You don't see superstars today say, I want the best player on the team, I want to guard him.
Yeah.
And we played a game against Orlando when they had Tracy McGrady. Tracy had 26 and a half. We go in at halftime, I'm like, hey man, the guy that's guarding you guys got to do it. Kobe said, coach, I got Tracy. Tracy ended with 30.
4 points.
4 points second half. So that was his mentality. That's why he's one of the greatest of all times.
Iverson said he had Kobe at 2, and Stephen A. challenged that. What makes Kobe special in player's mind, in a player's mind himself? We don't go by your stats. We don't go by the accolades. We go by how the person played, what was his attributes, right? So when you think about the greatest players of all time, 90, 80% of them have God gift, natural talent, ability, body. Jordan, 48-inch vertical. You got the big hand. You got LeBron, Shaquille O'Neal, and Magic 6'9" point guard with vision. Kobe, standard. If I give you every 6'6" guard in the NBA and NBA history, you would never find him. You would never find Kobe because he didn't have big hands. He wasn't quick. He wasn't fast. 38-inch vertical, that's standard. And what he did with that body, it's like you took a S500 and he was pushing it like a Bugatti. Mm-hmm. That's what we look at. We look at the normal person fighting gods.
I guarded Kobe in the garden. I can't remember how much he had, but I knew I had multiple steals against him. To where in the game, in my head, all I'm thinking of is when I have this conversation with my brother after the game, how I'm gonna tell him how I stole a ball from Kobe. Like, I'm thinking about all these things in my head. I'm like so geeked. The fourth quarter start.
Wait, you were already celebrating?
Fourth quarter starts. And Kobe said, you had a great game.
Oh my God.
Man, come down. You remember he came, shot fake, threw it off the glass, caught it, threw it to the corner. I'm like, bro, what you on? Shot, get to the spot, shot fake, spin, pivot over here, spin back on the foot, drop it off the glass. I'm like, bro, what's going on? Then he pulled up from like 35 feet on some Steph Curry shit. Before Steph was doing that, he pulled up and laced it. I'm like, they called a timeout. Dan Tony looking at me. I'm like, bro, I ain't.
He had that it factor.
I'm young, but I'm not going to back down from anyone.
I'm going to go in there and I'm going to work hard every day.
As a rookie, it was like he acted as if he belonged already.
Here comes Bryant. Oh, mesmerizing!
He played without fear.
Kobe inside the three-point arc, fades and fires and hits. Kobe Bryant has hit a shot at the buzzer!
He impacted so many people on and off the court, all over the world, on top of being at the very, very top of the game. So there's something in him that transcended basketball.
81 one-point game.
And to see that performance was unbelievable. Pump fake shot, reverse spin shot. Y'all watch it. Yeah, I study it.
Whenever you talk basketball, you got to speak his name. He is basketball. You can't have a basketball conversation without Kobe Bryant.
The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles.
You know, Jerry West obviously is one of my favorite players of all time, not only because he was a great player, but I also thought that he was exactly what I liked in a player, just winning at all costs thing. I just loved it, and it's so sad that we lost him not too long ago. Anyway, obviously he drafted Kobe, and yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
Remember the first time you saw Kobe?
Oh yeah. I saw him on film when he was in high school at Tech State, won a state championship, and obviously was aware of his background because of his father. And then when he was in Los Angeles, his agent wanted us to work him out, which we did with some other kids, and he was by far, it was like no one else was in the gym, and these people were taken in the first round. And, didn't think we had a chance to even get in a running for him, but his agent, Arntel again, who was my friend, he wanted him to play in Los Angeles. And we had Michael Cooper to work out against him, and Michael Cooper was a tremendous defensive player. And it got to the point where it was almost embarrassing to watch this 17-year-old kick this old man's fanny, I called Michael at that time. And I just said, hey, we don't need to see this anymore. This is ridiculous. I mean, this guy he's the best player in the draft.
So the goal was to be the first one at breakfast. So I set my alarm. I make sure I'm up by sunrise. I get out of bed. I put on my gear and I head downstairs. But when I get there, Kobe's already there with ice packs on his knees, drenched in sweat. Now, it took me a minute to figure it out, but this guy wasn't only awake before me. He had already worked out. He had just played in the finals days earlier. Meanwhile, I'd been off for months and I was still exhausted. What he had done that morning was incomprehensible to me. That dedication he had only days after falling short of an NBA championship. That taught me something I've never forgotten. Legends aren't defined by their successes. They're defined by how they bounce back from their failures.
Kobe, old school throwback with a new school twist.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was.
And I remember when he left, when he was leaving it, the last game in Atlanta, and I went in the locker room afterwards. I said, man, I love the way, you played the game. You never made excuses. You played hurt, didn't make excuses, held people accountable. I said, you the last of our kind. When you leave, the last of our kind leaves with it. Damn. And he looked at me, he said, man, that's really means a lot coming from you, because a lot of the legendary guys have told me that. I said, it's true, man. That's just true.
He was a student of the game, too.
And I said, man, you played no matter what. I mean, you played really on a bad Achilles, which nobody's going to do that. Kobe, I mean, if you talk about comparisons, he the closest to me as a Michael-like player ever. And I don't think you'll find too many people that would disagree.
With Kobe, we think we know how to work out until we see some working out. When we played Lakers, I'll come to the game like 3 o'clock, and that's when he'd be working out. And he'd be elbow. One dribble, pull up, you jump, he comes right after you, 500. Same spot, same movement, hard as. There was one time where he tried to fire his trainer because the trainer wasn't fouling him as hard as Rajah Bell would. Wait, Rajah Bell, you playing us tonight? You ain't playing the Suns till next month. You over here working out for Rajah Bell. Yeah. But that's where his intensity, the hardest defender that defended him, that's how he trained. So he's training that when he goes up and Rajah came down and he was going to go up, Rajah hit him. So that's how he took 500 shots. Going up, someone's coming down, hitting him, and he still got to put it up. And I'm sitting there like, yo, this is crazy.
And it was kind of interesting, too, that you and Kobe started out as, adversaries and then grew closer because of one moment there.
Right.
Which I don't know how often that happens, but, you know, you have the flinch, and then all of a sudden, you know, you guys eventually become very good friends.
Yeah, I mean, that was Kobe and myself kind of started. I met him in 98 when I went to UCLA. You know, him coming to LA at 18, he was young, and he was around UCLA all the time. So, you know, we'd see him. He'd be playing pickup games with us in the summertime. He would work out in Poly. I would sneak back in and watch him train. So it kind of just became like a wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to eventually guard someone like this one day to eventually make in the league, and then just respecting each other, knowing every time, you know, we played each other, I really looked forward to it. And then, you know, it kind of came to a head in Orlando in 2010 with the ball fake. And then after that season, you know, he called me up and literally said, you know, anyone crazy enough to with me is crazy enough to play with me. Do you want to be a Laker? And literally 3 days later, I was a Laker, you know. So we went from opponents to teammates to brothers, because we were both going through a lot of stuff off the court that season. So we were bonding on and off the court, you know, going to dinner, hanging out, you know, spending time together. And I got a chance to really know him as a person, not just a basketball player.
Kobe Bryant now, he's going to be retiring after.
I remember season 1. You said, who is this kid?
His 20th season, all with the Lakers.
Had one of the greatest careers in basketball history.
The body just will not allow him to be what he once was any longer.
No one understands what it takes to be great.
The force that drives you to do what others don't.
The sacrifices made, all with one purpose in mind.
Push yourself to become better.
The extra seconds, minutes, hours of work put into perfecting one's game.
Lifting yourself above the rest.
To make sure your name will forever be synonymous with one word: greatness. What does it take to be great? Work ethic, determination, drive.
It takes ability, it takes a desire.
Baylor moves on Russell again, turns and puts up a tremendous field goal.
I think it takes years of players relying on you to take the big shot, make the great play.
You know, do the things that bring success to the team. That's what it's all about.
It's getting out and measuring yourself against others. And I think that when you have an attitude like that, that's part of greatness.
At first I met Kobe. Kobe was just out of high school. He was out here for a workout, and I've never seen anyone work out as hard as Kobe.
I've never seen anybody that prepared. He was 17 years old and was ready to play NBA basketball. That's pretty amazing.
I think Jerry West was the one who said this. He said, I want this kid because this kid has more talent than anybody ever have playing for me right now. And he had a great team. Just a kid who would never take a night off. Even if it wasn't going well, it was always going to be trying to slay the dragon.
If you don't have that type of work ethic, you don't get to enjoy the benefits.
Out to Kobe. All the way high. What a way to finish!
Killer instincts is not the confidence in yourself. I can make this shot against anybody. I can make this play. You want to win.
There's extra pressure to play for a team that is expected to win, but that's an incentive that most athletes enjoy. They want to prove to everybody that they can deliver.
81 points for Kobe. It's the most points scored by one individual in a game since Wilt Chamberlain.
They call him the Black Mamba. I mean, man, deadly. He was just, to me, one of the greatest ball players I've ever seen to play basketball.
His quickness and agility and ability to get his jump shot off from anywhere, you had to respect that. He was an issue for the defense.
Well, I think the Black Mamba is appropriate. He makes shots with guys draped all over him, falling down, left hand or right hand. I just, witnessed him doing some amazing things.
The Lakers are champion, back-to-back titles. The LA Lakers, the 2010 NBA champions.
When you're able to go all the way to the top, you feel that you put your name in granite, more or less.
The ecstasy of winning it all and being the best player on the planet for his tenure, and nobody can take that away.
I just had to accept the fact that I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm okay with that.
I split my kneecap and I ruptured my Achilles.
That night I was sleeping on the floor in Cleveland and it was a snowstorm.
My knees was hurting. The tendonitis was kicking in overtime.
Are you going to go slide on the floor at the ball that's 20 feet away from you? No, you're not going to do that.
And physically, I just couldn't do the things that I did when I was younger. And when you can't do that, you know, that's time to quit.
And I was like, all right, this is the end. I've just gotten to see Kareem play his last game. And, you know, Kobe's of that ilk, so it is the passage of an era.
We were playing Portland here, a kid from the bench said something to me. He said, hey, we're going to beat you guys tonight. I looked at him, I said, you know, I got one rule. If you weren't born when I started playing, you can't talk trash.
You know, when people talk about the greatest of all time, it's what you accomplished on the court. But when you look back on it, no one has to tell you it all. You know what you did.
He was a dominant player and deserved any accolades that he acquired at that time.
He's as good as anyone who ever played. Let's put it that way.
I'm pretty sure that we'll see a statue someplace around the Staples Center.
You're not going to see guys like that often. They don't come around maybe once in your lifetime.
We was playing them when I was in Denver, and Kenyon started guarding, and Kenyon was saying to him like, and he wasn't doing anything. Kenyon was like, you know, you put on your sneakers like I put on mine. You put on your uniform like I put on. I'm scared of you. I beat your da-da-da-da-da, going crazy with him. And I'm sitting there looking like, oh my God. Because he been quiet. Man, this man started going crazy. I mean, dunks, threes, mid-range. I mean, killing us. I think he had like 49 or something.
49 points. What off his playoff?
And somebody was shooting a free throw. And my nickname is Chuck. Yeah, man. He was like, Chuck. He said I was chilling. And they shook the tree and the mamba fell out. And I was like, shh, leave him alone. And that was like my fondest moment when it came to him.
Well, you said that Kobe talked intelligent trash. Explain.
Yeah, so we were playing, and you know, it's like a 2-on-1 break, and stops the break. So Kobe walks over and says, hey, who you guarding? You. How many fouls you got? I got 1. So you only got 5 left? Yeah. Well, you need all 6 fouls to guard me, and you just wasted 1 stupid play, right? And you had to think about it like, God, he's right. And that's the stuff he said. He makes you think about the things you did.
I had to get his work ethic. Because I was a little bit more reserved and never been around, somebody worked as hard as he did. And I learned that from him. Yeah, I had the athleticism, but the work ethic part I had to get from being around him.
So Kobe was tough because I guarded Kobe a lot, and I was sort of like on the Suns, like that was my role to guard Kobe. And so that was, Kobe's relentless, and every time down the court, he's trying to score on it. And he was the one guy that I felt like really didn't have a weakness. He could go right, go left, over either shoulder in the post, could hit crazy shots, contested from three-pointer. Like, you just had to sort of have amnesia sometimes. You had to just get over the fact that he was going to hit tough shots. But he was the ultimate challenge, no doubt.
I think MJ is the greatest of all time, but I think Kobe is more skilled than any player that's ever played that I've seen.
I don't think that's.
I think Kobe's more skilled.
That's not a bad. That ain't far off.
You rolling with that?
He's up there. We just talking about skill.
That's good or bad.
I mean, like, truthfully, Cole was like one of the few guys that I just like wasn't kind of like all of.
We all were.
Like, I played mad against everybody, but him, we always had like a different type of relationship. I think it was more out of respect too. Everybody else, I pretty much couldn't care less about. It seems that way. I mean, off the court, and but just to have the opportunity to match up with him, know him on and off the court, was special. I mean, it made me who I am, pretty much. I mean, I got my nickname after a Laker game matching up with Kobe.
Now, when we mention Kobe Bryant, we also got to talk about what Michael Jordan had to say about Kobe. Let's have a look.
If I was in my prime, who would I want to play one-on-one with? That list is very long.
Start off with Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Kobe Bryant in his prime, LeBron in his prime, D-Wade in his prime, Melo. That's a good start. Yeah. I don't think I lose. Other than Kobe Bryant because he steals all my moves.
Unbelievable career. I think when I look back, and the first time we actually played against each other, and the competitive drive that I saw within your eyes, even though the knowledge wasn't quite there yet, it was very invigorating.
Well, let's talk Kobe. Shaq, what will his legacy be?
Number one, the greatest Laker player ever. It was amazing that he played one franchise for 20 years, did it his way, accomplished everything he set out to accomplish. Remember when he first come in, he said he wanted to be better than Michael Jordan. Like, young fella, hold up. But, passed him up in points, one championship less than what Mike has. But, to be the greatest Laker ever, I think that's an amazing accomplishment. They got Kareem, they got Wilt, they got Magic. So, I think him going out as the greatest Laker ever and going out the way he did, I think it's, remarkable. Especially a guy that didn't go to college, came from high school. Yeah. And to accomplish all that coming from high school, not going to college,
Playing against Kobe is like playing against a grizzly bear. If anything, any fear in you that shows, he's going to expose it. I've actually enjoyed the encounters and the competition against Kobe, man. Kobe's going to bring the best out of you. And when you play the best, you better be on your best. And anytime I'm pushed like that, I have nothing but great respect for that. My favorite Kobe moment was when both of us was in New York.
At the All-Star game, What is that, though?
We here now, baby. We here now. And I think if I'm 20, then he's 19, 18, something like that. And I think this is his first start in Madison Square Garden. And I remember how nervous we both was, and I had obviously played in one All-Star game before then, and we was both pretty nervous. People was making a real big deal about it. He and MJ's matchup, and it was just classic and epic. And I'm glad I was front row and center to be able to not only experience that moment, but to say that I was there. And the two of us kind of, just formed a little bond, man. I'll never forget, I threw him an alley-oop. I always call it the alley-oop from God.
To Garnett, back to Kobe! Kobe and Garnett.
Because I threw it too high, or what I thought it was too high. He went up and caught it, not one hand, but two hands. But I can remember both of us having a really cool time, a really fun time there. Not just because it was Madison Square Garden, but because of the two that.
And the next clip that we're going to take a look at is from Robert Horry, giving his favorite story of Kobe Bryant. Come on, Robert.
Your favorite Kobe story?
I think my favorite Kobe story, we were on a plane flying to Europe, and we were sitting there playing spades, and he was just sitting there watching us, right? And he was just, it's almost like a kid who hadn't seen anything before. And it was so funny. He was like, "What are y'all doing?" It's like, "We're playing spades." I said, "You don't know how to play spades?" He's like, "Nope." And so I sat down and I taught him how to play spades. And I thought it was the most interesting thing to me. I know most people are like, "Oh, this is a card game." But when you're a black man growing up, that's one of the things you have to learn how to play. You have to learn how to play spades and dominoes. This is what happens when you don't go to college, man. You don't learn these games when you got curfew and you can't go nowhere.
And then Kobe wants to master it, right?
Yes, of course. He was such a guy who wanted to master everything. He was so locked in, so keyed in. And this is the thing. I play with a lot of great athletes, and he is the only one that will literally, if you tell him you can't do something, he will go in the gym the next day and work on it just to prove you wrong.
He's the youngest starter in NBA All-Star Game history. At guard from the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant.
The first time I knew Kobe Bryant was real is when we was at an All-Star game, and he comes to me and say, "Big bro, GP, tell me how every time I can't never get over a pick with you, and you get over a pick with me and stay in front of me. Could you teach me?" When a young guy who is that talented and is coming up and becoming who he is, to come and ask another guy to teach him how to do something.
Payton with the spin. Bryant, Kobe's first All-Star hoop.
It shows volumes of what he was. And I wasn't afraid to giving them tips. In the same year, he made all defensive team, first team with me.
Here's a steal by Kobe. Watch this play.
And then he continued to make it with me year after year. And I just thought about that and I said, that's a kid that had determination and fight and wanted to play basketball and do it the right way.
The young man that you think may be as good a shooting guard or as good a player as in this game, and that's Kobe Bryant.
Very special human being, man. I mean, like a lot of people know Kobe because of what he'd done on the basketball court, especially his career with the Lakers. But I've been knowing him since we were kids, and, you know, very special human being, taught me a whole lot, especially from the simple fact of having a killer instinct. Like, people seen that when you hear Mamba mentality, like, people hear that late, like Kobe championships, you know, MVPs and everything like that. No, he had that Mamba mentality at 15, 16 years old. I can remember being in a room late at night because we were roommates on all AAU events, McDonald's All-American Game, Magic Johnson Run Ball Classic.
Dakota with the bounce pass, and Bryant jams it home, and that got him up out of the seats in some high five.
And I can remember we were playing, and Tim Thomas was the #1 player in the country at that time. And Kobe didn't want to go to sleep that night. He was restless, and he would do this multiple times a night. He would just walk around my bed, because my bed was here, his bed was there. He would just walk around my bed, and he was like, hey man, Rip, tomorrow, you know, they got Tim Thomas as the #1 player in the country. I should be the #1 player in the country. I'm gonna go out there and show the world. He said, watch, just wait and see. And I'm like, bro, go to sleep, man. Like, we got 3 big games tomorrow because we got to win the tournament. He's like, nah, look, trust me, I'm gonna have my A game. I'm gonna come out there and I'm just gonna destroy everybody that's out on the floor, regardless who's guarding me.
Kobe Bryant at the other end, explosive.
And Kobe came out there and showed the world why he should have been the #1 player in the country. I mean, he showcased his ability to score, to attack, and to dominate. We ended up winning that game. And when you looked at the ratings after that game, Kobe Bryant was the #1 player in the country.
Talk about your, you know what I'm saying, your defense in the finals against Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is Kobe, and then, you know, you from LA, you from Compton, LA. He the legendary Laker doing what he do, and then like this, our generation, this is the dude. You know what I'm saying? And you got that assignment on the biggest stage. Ain't nobody else watching nothing else. Like, how was that for you? And then, you know, coming out of that, you got a lot of, you know, a lot of acclaim for that series. Like, how did that impact the rest of the way?
It was a perfect setup for my career, for, you know, obviously me being from Cali, how you talked about even Kobe 2 years older than us, we looked up to him.
Yeah, he still was that dude.
You know what I'm saying? He was that dude. Like, he was there. I was in high school watching the Lakers. Like, it was set up perfect. And then I wasn't, you know, my first year I wasn't playing. There was no expectations. There was no expectations on us beating them. True story. 3 or 4 days before the first finals game, I go to, they had something at my school, right? Had all the kids in the gym, and they wanted me to come speak. So after I speak, I opened it up for questions. First question was, kid came up and was like, who on y'all team gonna guard Kobe? So I was like, that's gonna be my responsibility. The whole gym laughed. The whole gym. But you gotta think about it.
Yeah, this LA.
It's LA.
Yeah.
It's my high school, but it's LA though.
Yeah.
It's all nothing but LA is all Lakers.
Yeah.
Forget what school you went to, all that. It's all Lakers.
Yeah.
The whole gym just started laughing. You know what I mean? And I'm just sitting there like, what can I say?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Laker fan too. You know what I'm saying? I play for the Pistons. I'm a Laker fan. I grew up a Laker fan. And so all these things, right, man, it was just like, I got nothing to lose. All this, nobody expected nothing, right? And the one thing I did know, right, 3 or 4 inch height advantage, the length, all of that. Kobe likes to get to his spots. You know, I knew that as long as I could just force him to mid-range jump shots and contest, I got a good chance just because of my
size.
size.
People don't even know what the 24 stand for. People don't even understand that was a sign to everybody that he was
a step above 23, if y'all even got that.
That's why he went with 24?
That's why he went 24. And that was a shot at Mike. Straight up. Like, I'm better than you, and really stood on it. And if you look at every goal or every record that Mike Jordan has had, Kobe chased it.
J.R. Ryder scored on Kobe and was talking shit one day in practice.
Wrong thing.
So Kobe said, me and you after practice, one-on-one. And so Phil stopped practice. And then we all just went and sat on the side and watched them two play one-on-one.
Yeah.
And Kobe, he chewed him up. We were sitting on the sideline and J.R. Ryder could hoop. Horace Grant, I remember going, be careful what you ask for. And he got so mad that he came over the sideline, fist balled up, all swole up. He was like, I'll beat all y'all. Because he was so embarrassed, but that's what Kobe did that with Artest. He did that with Mitch Richmond. He did that with Lindsey Hunter when he came. Jim Jackson and Aaron McKee, they signed with the Lakers later on in their career. Same thing. He was going to establish the pecking order. This is my I'm the guy, and you got to come through me.
Here's the greatest thing that I want people to know about Kobe Bryant. He could have had 71. He could have had 91. The main thing I want everybody to take away from that game is that man's discipline. And that's why when people try to tease me, I'm like, we held him under 100. What do you mean?
What was it like the first time you went up against Kobe Bryant and had to guard him?
1994 is when I got picked. So that summer, in order to not go back to the neighborhood and kind of start maturing, I got a place in California. And that's when I started playing basketball at the UCLA men's gym. Anybody that came through LA during that period of time, I got a chance to see them ball. And all of a sudden, we're up there playing, and a young kid named Kobe shows up because he just got drafted by the Lakers. And everybody then was still talking about the fact that Jerry West said he had the greatest workout that he had ever seen. And so initially when he said that, the Lakers had Shaq, Nick Van Exel, and Eddie Jones on the team. That backcourt, they both made the All-Star team. And so to even add Kobe to that mix, everybody was like, whoa, they got the nerve to draft a guard. That's the first thing that everybody was saying. And so when he came to the gym, there was a buzz around him. And then all of a sudden, he got a couple of chances to get the ball and do his thing. Went to the basket and boomed out on everybody. Boom! He gained everybody respect from the beginning. And here's another thing that happened. So everybody's playing in the morning. Whatever. And so Kobe and I, afterwards, we went to this little spot in Santa Monica. We were trying to be athletes. It's like, after you work out, athletes, they go get in the hot tub, they go, drink water and these, special juices and whatever. When we got done, I was ready to go kick it in LA. He went back to the gym.
I knew Kobe Bryant was going to be special from day one. Reminded me of myself. When I first came into the league at 19, I wanted it out. Give it to me. Take all the shot. I want it. So when he came in and he was doing all that, and we had to hey, young fella, slow down. But he would never slow down. All that first to come to practice, last to leave, that was him. He'd be practicing moves, and if you see a player do a move, he'd practice it the next day, and he just a guy that I definitely wouldn't have won 3 in a row without.
Kobe dribble drives. Kobe. Oh, what a slam dunk. My God. A three-peat and a sweep.
That's three. Bryant somehow getting it up and over Channing Frye.
We're Western Conference Finals, Game 6. We're triple teaming Kobe. Right? I'm looking at Lamar Odom, and the coach is like, go. Jason Richardson, Jared Dudley, Grant Hill, we're running at Kobe. He shoots a fadeaway from God knows where. Swish.
Shot clock now to 5. Bryant, yes. And then with a little tap to Alvin Gentry.
Add insult to injury, Kobe. What a shot. You can't defend that.
Slaps Alvin Gentry on the butt. I don't know what he said. Something to the effect of, good try. But you know what was crazy? Was when we would watch the film afterwards, we would just laugh. You're just like, what? Like him shooting left-handed shots, him calling out plays as our coach is calling out plays. Like these are things that we could see on film where you're just like, what, how? Like, how does he do it? You know how he does it, but at that attention to detail, it's not weird, it's next level.
Bryant again going to work, falls down. He immediately grabbed for that left Achilles area.
What sums up Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant, is he tears his Achilles heel and he shoots those free throws. Might add, he makes it.
The Lakers down by 2 and they want him and need him at the free throw line. Got it.
And walks off. That to me, and also the game he had, his last game of his career.
The Lakers down 1. Will Kobe give them one last gamer? On the move with the jumper.
Summed up the entire, I would say, mindset of a Kobe Bryant, how he approached the game.
And one of the great farewell performances in any sport. Kobe Bryant, 60 points.
Stories I've heard as he's locked himself up 24 hours watching film after losses. Some of the stories you heard that he shot 4 or 5 hours after games at an outside hoop. Some of the stories you heard and saw, you know, wrists, fingers, playing left-handed, playing through all these injuries. That's Kobe Bryant.
You were on the Lakers in 1998.
Something like that. I don't know. I mean, I was on 8 different teams. I can't remember the year. It's just a little difficult.
Well, no, you guys got swept by Utah that year.
Yeah, we did. We did in the Western Finals.
And Kobe was, what, 19? 19 years of age?
Yeah, his second year in the league.
And he took the last shot, didn't he?
No, that was the year before.
Oh,
that was his rookie year.
Oh,
that was his rookie year.
But what do you...
He didn't play much. I mean, Eddie Jones was the 2 guard, and Kobe played less than 20 minutes a game in that second year.
But did you see sort of what could be with Kobe, or when did you see that?
100%. Every day in practice when it was game 7. We get ready to scrimmage, right? We're on the second team, and he wanted to, he was going after Eddie Jones every day to show Coach Del Harris, like, no, this is my job. I don't know why this guy started. And like literally every day was game 7 when we started scrimmaging. I mean, the guy was as driven as any guy I've ever known. Like Michael Jordan, he's as close, and John Smoltz are the 3 most competitive guys I've ever met.
Sure that well, what was Eddie Jones like when, does he know his days are numbered when he's seeing this, that Kobe's going after him?
I don't know. No, because Eddie was still pretty young, and I think he went to Miami after that and had some all-star seasons. Yeah. So he accepted the challenge. But yeah, everybody kind of knew, like, this kid right here, oh my gosh, when he arrives, it's going to be hello world, like Tiger, right?
Did Shaq know it?
Shaq knew it, of course.
Because I just wonder about that ego, you know, those egos, and I know it wasn't there yet because Kobe hadn't had success, but
correct.
Could you feel like, you know, there's only one king on the throne here?
You know, no, because I didn't think that Kobe would care. He just wanted to play, and that's all he wanted, and that's all he did. Like, literally, he wouldn't talk on our planes. He would, I believe he wrote a lot of lyrics, rap music, and he would not, he wouldn't join in our reindeer games of cards and all that stuff. Like he would sit by himself, write whatever he was doing. He would watch Michael Jordan interviews. He would never go out in the city we went to. You would never see him. He'd be at practice, and we'd play one-on-one after practice. And if I didn't say I'm leaving, he would never leave the gym.
Welcome to the Kobe Show. Take 2. It's so crazy. The night before the game, we're at a wing spot or something, and we're smoking cigars. It was like outside in Charlotte. You know, Kobe was just talking about like history. And so we fast forward to the game, and we're down, obviously, and we're in the huddle, and coach is drawing up a play, and Kobe like literally just stopped the whole, like, stop the play drawing up, stop the whole like huddle, got it right in between and said, look, take the ball out right here, and whoever want to be a part of history, take the ball out and throw it into me.
And I immediately remember Lamar saying, I want to be a part of history. Like, I'm going to throw it in. And eventually Luke ended up throwing the ball in.
Bobcats by 1. Kobe up top. Bryant for the win.
How good is Kobe Bryant?
Kobe had came off like a slice screen, got the ball at the top, followed through, and literally looked right at me, winked his eye like I told you, like, game. And everybody just like ran, grabbed him, went through the tunnel, and literally the rest was history.
How soon, Jalen, while he's already in the NBA, did you start to notice, his game is rounding out in a way that maybe I didn't even anticipate, even though you did see very early on that he had the work ethic?
Right from the beginning. But here's his problem. He already had established vets on his team that were stars in their own right. And I love Shaq just like you do. But if you look at his history, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Penny Hardaway, he always found a way to feud with the other star on the team. That was an absolute fact. And so that summer, I don't think I'm breaking any news here, they had an altercation, a physical altercation. And clearly who's going to win one of those was Shaq.
Right.
And so when that happened, I remember saying, that ain't going to end well. And so you in LA, those guys are the men on the team. And then every time it's like, go put in Kobe, their shoulders slump. Like, oh, here we go. You know, the teacher's pet, you know, got to put him in the game. And crowd would go crazy. So it was unique playing on the opposite team, seeing how that dynamic was, trying to keep him as the young fella on the squad, while the coaching staff, the management, and the fans knew that he had something special that couldn't be contained.
You eventually faced him in the finals in 2000. How did you guys approach guarding him individually and as a team?
One of the things that happened in my career, I don't think it's cute or cool. I'm not proud of it. Playing in that series, Kobe went up for a jump shot because this was probably game 4. And the reason why this ended up happening, because games 1, 2, and 3, I realized that Reggie, Mark, Mullen, me, Travis, we can't guard him. He went up for a jump shot, and I purposely act like I was contesting the shot and made him come down on my foot. And in my mind, I didn't want him to clearly break his ankle, but in my mind, it'd be great if he missed these next 3 games. We'll have a better chance to win. And in true Kobe fashion, this dude only missed 1 game.
Tell us this story, Kobe story that like nobody knows. A Kobe story that nobody knows. From your perspective. Well, I'm sure a few people know this story, but the mass of people don't know this story. So, again, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, Kobe had never been to a beach. He ain't never seen ocean and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I tell him, and D. Fisher was with us as well. Travis Knight. Do you remember Travis Knight? These are all 3 rookies. So I said, listen, we're gonna go to the beach. I'm gonna take y'all to the beach, and we're just gonna talk basketball. You know, we're gonna talk life in general. You know,
this is after a practice.
This is after a practice. Yeah. So we all go down and we go walking around the beach, and you know, they're just looking at the water and just chilling and just tripping off the ocean. You know, and they're like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like this. This is unbelievable. So after they get over the oh my God, you know, type of look, then we start talking about basketball. And once we finish with basketball, and D. Fish, who we all know is how great he was, and how tough mentally and physically that he was, everybody left and it was just me and Kobe. And he just started talking about the 80s. You know, 80s basketball. Man, B, I wish I would have played with you guys back in the 80s. You know, because I just love the way you guys played, the physicalness of the game, you know, how everybody was tough. You know, you go down the line, you get knocked down and blah, blah, blah. And we just went on and on. And I was like, yeah, you would have been great in the 80s. It would have been fun. I said, wait, hold up. I said, no, I'm glad you didn't play in the 80s. He's like, why? Because my ass would have been sitting on the bench. And I said, not like playing. Dog. I didn't want to be no 6-man. You know what I'm saying? I said, so you playing in the 2000s and blah, that was perfect for you. You know, stay your ass there. I don't want you back in the 80s taking my spot.
That's great.
Did you ever talk to Kobe since he was the original Mamba, the Black Mamba? Was he okay with you being the White Mamba?
Yeah, so he sort of quote unquote endorsed me on Twitter, and that was it. So he came out on social media. I followed like a week later, kind of with a pun tweet. Like he said, the antisocial goes social. I said this Mamba waited longer than that Mamba, and he hit me with welcome to Twitter, White Mamba. And I went from 4,000 followers to 80,000 followers in like 4 hours. I couldn't believe it. So, and then on the last game, we had a cool little moment where, we did the whole shake and pound, and we went on our merry way, unspoken.
Hug.
Bro hug.
But you never got isolated on him, did you? Like, did you guard?
Yeah, actually, good. I always bring this up because when you can prepare for NBA players, you can watch their last 50 clips. You can just ask the film guy and they'll deliver it for you, right? And it was amazing. Most guys, they do about 5 to 7 things. Most people, and there's all about the same move. I watched Kobe's last 50 makes, and I think it was 45 different shots. Then I told the film guy, I need another 50 makes. And I think it was another 40 different shots. Then we got in the game, I guarded him, and I think he went left, 1-foot runner, and of his last 100 makes, I didn't see that shot taken once.
Well, Kobe came into the league and just tried to start taking over right away, didn't he?
He did. I mean, he came in right out of high school, and early on, I mean, I think of those images of him in the playoffs against Utah, taking those shots, coming up short, but not being afraid, and really, wanting and pursuing excellence, wanting to be the best, and you saw that right away. Interesting for me that after that season, I remember I was in Los Angeles, and it might have been early August, and I went up to the men's gym one night. It might have been like a Friday night at Westwood, at UCLA, the men's gym, and Kobe's in there with his trainer, and it might have been 10:30 at night, and he's getting after it. I mean, sweating, working on his game, working really hard, like on a Friday night. And so I'm just going in there to shoot some free throws. And next thing you know, he wants to play one-on-one. And I'm like, all right, why not? And this, he's only 19 or whatever, so I'll have my way. And I could not believe the intensity and how hard he played. He competed on every possession in that one-on-one moment. Nobody was there, just the two of us and his trainer. And I had to work my tail off. I wasn't expecting that in that moment, but that to me was when I realized, okay, this kid has something. He's special.
We were in Vegas, and coach drew up a play for him at the top of the key to go ISO one-on-one. And as they're leaving the huddle, he's telling everybody, I'm about to dunk on this fool. I'm about to dunk on this fool.
Here we got a dribble drive, change of direction. And Kobe Bryant is fouled. What a play by the kid. Did you see where he jumped from?
I don't think our reactions was because of the dunk. Our reaction was because he said he was about to do that dunk. And that's why we was just like, oh my God, we cannot believe he just said what he was going to do, and he did it, and it was spectacular at the same time. And it was one of the craziest things because you guys say stuff all the time, but to hear from a rookie who never really played NBA games said, I'm about to dunk on this fool. And when I tell you he crossed that dude up right to left cross, and I think Ben Wallace tried to take a charge. Oh my, that was one of the special moments of Kobe, and just you knew he was going to take off from there. You just knew it.
My last year, I did announce it was my last year. I didn't announce that I was retiring because I struggled with the word. We play the Nets in Brooklyn. Kobe and Gigi are at that game. We were cool. Throughout our years, we kind of went at it. That's what it was. To see the smile on his face, the hug, the conversation we had was unbelievable. I asked him about that word. how is it? He said, man, it is the greatest thing ever. It's the best feeling. You're going to enjoy it. This side is not that bad. If Kobe Bryant can say that to me, I can say I'm retiring. The last thing we talked about, he said, we'll talk more about it. In January, he passed.
The conversation that you had with Kobe Bryant is what played a role in you being able to retire.
Except retirement. It was just a different side of him. You can feel vulnerability.
Would you take Kobe over Mike?
You know what? I played with Kobe, so I know Kobe. I don't know Mike. I just met Mike, cross. So I'll take Kobe because I won 3 championships with Kobe. I have to take Kobe.
Well, you don't want to get Mike upset.
Well, he didn't put me on the MJ brand, so if he gets upset, so be it.
But did you ever find yourself guarding him?
I have a picture in my room where I got my jersey hung up when him blowing by me. But then I got a picture next to it where I'm blocking his shot. So yeah, I have MJ in my memorial room over there.
Now you wouldn't ask him to sign that, would you?
Which one, the blow by or the block?
Well, probably the blow by. The blow by you could probably get him to sign. The block shot, probably not.
Let me just say this. I got 7 championships. He got 6. He better sign it. I'll ask him to sign both.
So here's the greatest thing that I want people to know about Kobe Bryant. And I bring up the 2000 finals when I intentionally tried to injure him as basketball karma 101. Kobe Bryant, when you watch that game, I want everybody to go back and watch that game. I don't care if he had 40. I don't care if he had 50. I don't care if he had 60. He wasn't doing airplane wings around the court. He wasn't thumping his chest and pointing up at the sky. He wasn't jumping in nobody's face and saying nothing. As a matter of fact, he didn't say a word. And you know what else? He didn't make no highlights. When people show that game, they show Kobe walking to the bench, putting one finger in the air. Or they show him making a 3 over me. Or they show him like getting a steal and double pump, putting it behind his head, dunking on the breakaway. Because it was so like all-time great that he didn't need highlights. But the most important thing that he did that day, he never talked trash and he never made it about him. And that's who Kobe, that's the Mamba mentality. Everybody talking about like, what's the Mamba mentality? That game, everybody wants to talk about the numbers. He could have had 71, he could have had 91. The main thing I want everybody to take away from that game is that man's discipline. That man's focused. And so as a professional on other teams, George, you know what you gotta do? You gotta take it. And that's why when people try to tease me, I'm like, we held him under 100. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's the remix to Michael Jordan. If I ever score 44 in the game, I'm mad he didn't have 88. That game embodies his all-time greatness for sure.
The times he was most locked in, which is he's always locked in, right? But when he was really cooking, they knew even pregame, because they said that there were times where he'd fraternize a little bit in pregame, or if you hit a shot, he'd say like, "Hey man, nice shot," or whatever. But the days where he didn't say a word to you, that's when you knew you were in trouble.
Everything that people say that they like about the old school game, he didn't fraternize them. You ain't got no footage of Kobe exchanging jerseys after the game. You ain't got no footage of him putting his jersey up, trying to talk to the guy he played with last year, or somebody that has the same agent as him. There's no footage of him doing that. He was comfortable with being enemies with everybody in the league. I ain't trying to be friends with none of y'all.
I was very close with Kobe, and he played for our Redeem team in 08 and our team in London in 12. And he was the most prepared of any player I've ever seen. And I call him an alien.
Yeah.
Like he's just different. Yeah. And beautiful.
Yeah.
And absolutely beautiful. He come early for the Redeem team thing. He showed up 2 days early.
Yeah.
And he met with me and he said, "I want you to do me a favor." And I said, "Yeah, what is it?" He said, "I want to guard the best perimeter player on every team we play." And And then he paused, and he had those eyes that killed you right away.
Yeah, it was piercing.
And so he leans forward, and he said, "And I promise you, I'll destroy him."
Yeah.
Now, if I was a general manager, or pull out a contract right there and have him sign it.
It's funny. I bet he saw in you. I think what he had such a hard time with was when he was around people that didn't care as much as him. And I bet he saw in you quickly, I can play for this guy because he meets me at my level as far as wanting to win.
You know, I mentioned it at the beginning of the video. My personal fan relationship with Kobe was a rocky one. When he came to the NBA, I was a huge fan. Why? Because he was that young kid that came to the NBA. He's only a couple years older than I am, so I could identify myself with him. And also the way that he played reminded me, obviously, of Michael Jordan, but I didn't see too many similarities at first when it came to the NBA. So yeah, I loved him, saw his commercials, his sneakers and everything. I was a huge fan. And then when he was in his early 20s, for whatever reason, my opinion changed. I felt like, oh man, he's copying MJ too much. And it bothered me. And yeah, for that small time period, I didn't like him too much, which was stupid in hindsight. Why? Because why wouldn't you copy the greatest player of all time? I mean, if you copy somebody, why wouldn't it be MJ? And I did the same. So it was very stupid from my side to feel about Kobe that way. Now, looking back at his entire NBA career, this guy was incredible. And his work ethic, I mean, this is something that I really, really appreciate about players who get better each year and who try to add things to their game every year, even though they already have superstar status, still trying to improve. And Kobe also had this winning at all costs attitude, and I love that. The only thing that I criticize about Kobe, since I want to be completely honest, to me, he could have been a little bit more of a team player in terms of passing. Like, for example, if I compare MJ to Kobe, to me, MJ didn't force as many shots. And when somebody was open, he would make the great pass. And that was one thing that Kobe could have done better. But that's already complaining at a very high level. So, as a complete basketball player, Kobe Bryant was insane. And he worked himself to become this great player. And I always say the same thing with Michael Jordan. Reaching that level, it comes with a price. And there's a reason why only a handful of players reach that plateau. So who am I to judge that he has flaws in his game or personality-wise? I don't know what it's like to be on top. I don't know what it takes to get to this standard. I never reached it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, leave some comments, and hopefully I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.